A couple of more things to learn here. When we are making comparisons with pronouns, it's really important to use the right pronoun, either the subject pronoun or the object pronoun. In these two example sentences about football, they're both correct, but they mean different things. In the first sentence, my roommate likes football more than me. The sentence means, my roommate likes football more than my roommate likes me. So the roommate prefers football even to their other roommate. In the second sentence, it means my roommate likes football more than I like football. So in that case, we have a football fan and a non-football fan. And so that's a little different than the roommate liking football more than anything, including his roommate or her roommate. Your book describes how one way to tell which pronoun you should use in that case, which is to insert the extra words that are implied. My roommate likes football more than he or she likes me, or more than I like football. So you insert those extra words to help you tell which pronoun it should be. Another thing you can look at is if it's an objective pronoun, that means it's being compared to the object. It's football and the roommate that are being compared. If it's a subject pronoun, then it's being compared to the subject. The roommate, do they like football more than I like it? Those are the two things being compared. All right. The other thing is when you have an ing word and a pronoun, a possessive pronoun that comes, or any pronoun that comes right before it, then that should be a possessive pronoun. So typically someone might say the chances of you being hit by lightning. But in fact, standard English calls for you to say you're being hit by lightning. There's a lot of complicated reasons for that, which I will happily explain to you if you want to know. But the shortcut basically is if it's an ing word and there's a possessive pronoun before it, or any pronoun before it, it should be a possessive pronoun. So here we wouldn't say, I didn't tell my dad about me having gone to the hospital. We would say, I didn't tell my dad about my having gone to the hospital. All right, a few more examples to practice. Go ahead and pause the video and see how you do. Okay, number 1, no other country has natives as genetically isolated as they, because we would say as they are. No one was more delighted than he was, so that one is correct to learn American Sign. For the duration of our stay, our Icelandic hosts and we exchanged information. And I might even revise it around, and this is kind of tricky, but I might say we and our Icelandic hosts exchanged information, but either one would be fine. And number 4, Sue's husband was 10 years older than she was. All right, go ahead and pause the video one last time and see how you do on these last 3 practice sentences. All right, all of these are about that ing rule. So number 1 should be, she appreciated his telling the truth. Number 2, my desire to understand classical music was aided by my working as an usher. And number 3, this whole fiasco could have been prevented by your remembering to sign in. Now, some of the issues we've talked about today will always be relevant. For example, it will always be important that your reader can tell what your pronoun refers to so that they're not confused. But some of what you've learned here may be obsolete in 10 years or 20 years or 30 years, who knows? In fact, it's probably already obsolete in many discourse communities, which is why some of the corrections that we went through today might have sounded strange to you or old-fashioned or just wrong. That probably means that whatever discourse community, the types of people that you speak with on a day-to-day basis don't follow that rule anymore. It has become obsolete for them. Of course, written language is more resistant to change than spoken language, so the rules that have become obsolete in spoken language still apply in formal writing situations, like writing essays in a university. But eventually, probably the rules will adapt even there to match how language is actually being used, out on the streets with regular people. We might end up dropping the word whom from our language entirely. That would be a relief to a lot of people, probably. We might keep on mixing up the subject and object pronouns until it just doesn't matter anymore which you use, and they're just all considered correct. Who knows? That's kind of the cool thing about language. It's always changing and growing along with culture. But for now, though, these are the conventions that we follow. And for now, you can be really proud to be one of the people who knows when to use the word whom.